today we're going to be doing another Naruto video, and I also have my boy Ken Rock. You guys know the vibes. I've done many videos with him before, so make sure to check out his YouTube. It'll be in the link in the description down below and on the video, as you guys can already see. Make sure to give him all the love, subscribe if you like. He has content of his own. He's doing things, but he has like a whole schedule and a bunch of stuff in the works and in motion. But you have anything to say, Ken? Introduce yourself.
Nope, I think I've done this enough times with you that I don't need to introduce myself. I say let's get into it.
Alrighty, so as you guys can see on the topic of the video today, it's going to be NEJI versus Konoha 12. So we're going to be separating this into three categories. It's going to be the category where he just utterly slams and wins. Then there'll be the contentious category of like where you could argue either or. And then there's going to be where he loses no matter what category. Okay, so that's what we're going to be basically getting into today, and we'll start with the losing category. We'll start with the two most fodders of Konoha 12, which would be Ino and Sakura. I'll let you take care of that one, Ken.
I mean, what's there to really say? They had they're just the weakest out of all of them. They don't have a lot of ninjutsu offensives, not a lot of defensives. Ino's best technique is the mind transfer jutsu. If that misses, she's open. And then Sakura's just relative.
Literally, bro, like, they're fucking dog shit. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. Like, they're horrible. Like, the best feat you could argue for Sakura is, like, she was able to, like, move fast enough and get front of, like, one tail, like, partial transformed Gaara. And we know that Gaara is, like, able to match, like, Chidori, Sasuke, and things like that or whatever, blah, blah. But it's, like, that's it. That's all she has. And to be fair, Gaara wasn't focused on her. You know what I mean? He was at a distance. I believe she was even closer. And that's all you really have. So it's like, you know, I don't have to fucking tell you. And it's really not that impressive, because if we go back to even all of that, that Sasuke in the tuning exams with Chidori and everything was literally weightless Lee level. Well, not weightless Lee. He was relative to weightless Lee, not even equal, okay? And Naruto and Sakura was still showing the same level of speed in order to combat against that Gaara as well. You know what I mean? Now, if they were having like a head-on-head clash, they would definitely die and lose. Sasuke could only do that because he had the Sharingan, the precognition. But they were at least fast enough to still be within that speed ballpark, okay? In a sense, right? You know what I mean? Like relative. You know, I'm not even saying they're equal to that. They're relative to Sasuke being to relative of weightless Lee speed, if that even remotely makes any sense. And that's where Gaara would be too, with the one tail and sand. So like, that's about all you have, like if I'm being very generous, but that's about it. But either way, you know, that's kind of what you're working with. But yeah, just kind of want to put that out there. So the next people we have, the next third fodder is Tenten. What do you think on that, Ken?
Ooh, I think it's disrespectful to have her as the third fodder. I think like Hinata or something, but honestly, like, Neji knows Tenten very well, and the best thing she has is like her like long range weapons. And like Neji's just gonna do like what Mari did and just use the rotation, just block all of them.
He's literally a hard counter for Tenten. There's absolutely nothing she could do remotely. Like, she's absolutely, unless you give her like the Sage of Six Pass fan tool. Even then, I think he would just move out of the way, right? You know, so what's it called? But yeah, no, Tenten just gets utterly slammed. She gets gentle fist all over, finger strike. She might even enjoy it. Who knows? She's done. All right. What's it called? Then you have Hinata. Okay. Now Hinata, let's give her more respect. She's pretty impressive in a regard. She was at least relative to the preliminaries, Neji. Okay, in the tuning exams. You know, whatnot, but we've already seen that fight. The outcome would be the same. If anything, I'm going to be honest with you, if it's bloodlusted, I think it's even worse, because Naruto's not going to be there to like really backpack and motivate her and to give her a mental amp, you know? So that's a problem as well. So utterly, like, Neji just slams, you know what I mean? There's people that try to argue and be like, oh, like, she scales the ninja, whatever, blah, blah. She doesn't, you know, I mean, she's like, she had relativity when she was getting, you know, the talk no jutsu with Naruto in the back, behind the scenes, and then she was like really wanting to prove a point, to try to even prove Neji wrong and, you know, do something, but that's about it. You have anything for that, Ken?
Only thing I could say is I don't even think she was even relative there with the mental amp, because it was one of those things where she didn't even realize like she'd been struck multiple times in the arm. Yeah. Even with like the mental amp, she got speed blitzed like terribly.
Yeah, no, I get you. She did have some exchanges with him for a good bit, you know what I mean? They're kind of playing pat a cake.
Yeah, but that was like after he had like turned off like the chakra in her arms.
Yeah.
I remember like out Neji at the very end, and he like pulled up her sleeve and was like, "Look, I've
Oh
already
yeah,
taken out
he
your
flexed. Yeah, he flexed. He said, "Bitch." So, oh, you're not wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like, like she's not Neji level. People think she is, but she's not. But anyways,
basically like, look, if I wanted you dead, you would have been dead."
yeah, facts. And that's what I'm saying, guys. So it's like overall, like, so don't get me wrong. We're giving Hinata some love. You know what I mean? She's goated. She's way more goated than fucking Sakura and Ino and Tenten. Okay, she would beat those three. I'm being dead serious on that. But she's not. Come on. Okay, so yeah, that's a lose. Then we have Shikamaru. This is the problem. If it was equal stats, I could probably see Shikamaru pulling it off. Okay, with his intelligence, whatever. And even then, that's contentious. But overall, it's not. And Neji is way, way more faster. Okay, Shikamaru's best speed feat, okay, is literally to Temari and then the flute girl. Okay, and the problem with that, and this is where like it's like really weird. Like and this is like where it becomes problematic. That Shikamaru was literally like able to he fought against Tamari and like Weighted Lee fought against that same Tamari. Now she does get like stronger, but we don't really know how much stronger. You know what I mean? But either way, like Weighted Lee was equal to Tamari. So meaning at that point in time, Shikamaru is like Weighted Lee level. Who cares? We obviously know Neji's way beyond Weighted Lee. Even preliminary tuning exams, you name it. You know what I mean? So. That's just kind of what you're working with. But what do you think on the tuning exam Shikamaru and preliminary Shikamaru? We could talk about retrieval Shikamaru to the older Neji, because I think that you can maybe try to argue for Shikamaru. But what do you think?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you, just to make it short for you.
Yeah.
I really believe that even like once you get to like retrieval Shikamaru, he still loses to that Neji,
Yeah.
just based off the fact that even like a weakened Lee was stated to be faster than he was at that point.
Yeah.
Like Lee believes he needs at least a second gate to compete against Neji.
No, absolutely facts. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's why I think like Neji just utterly still destroys. Even if it's preliminary Neji, tuning exams, final tuning exams Neji, definitely retrieval arc Neji, because at that point, even though it's an anime only, but the anime is also considered canon, etc. Yeah, cry more about it. Eventually, I will have a why the anime and novels and movies are considered canon as well. But that's a future works in the projects. But either way, overall, like it's just they're just not. Unfortunately, the category of speed and power that Neji and Lee and Kim are in is a whole different category, and all the other Gennings and the sound members are just not within that level. So. But yeah, so Shikamaru unfortunately just doesn't take it. That's basically what you work with. Okay, then we have fodder Kiba, and for Kiba, we're gonna start him in base for this category, which is why he would lose, right? Any form of Kiba in base with Akamaru gets shitted on. It's the same thing. He gets speed blitz. Like, do you have anything more to add, Ken?
No.
Okay, yeah. So, and then if we even add Kiba's final transformation with the dog, with like that massive spinning thing. Don't get me wrong, it has impressive AP, and if it does land a hit on Neji, I do agree that it would definitely end him and he would win. But the problem, and me and Ken were kind of talking about this before when we started the recording, is we don't think Akamaru would be able to land P on Neji. like that's the problem. Neji would be too fast. Like you guys forget, like Lee would need the third gate to beat Neji. So that means Neji scales from weightless Lee all the way to the second gate Lee, okay? And that's a big deal. And that's very, very fast. And I just don't see Akamaru landing any P on Neji or whatever, you know what I mean? And then getting the W because of it, So even if
just so that people have the context real fast, and sorry, just because I know there's some people who not understand. The reason why he's talking about landing P on Neji is because when Kiba's in that dog transformation, at least at this point in time, he's moving so fast he can't see, so he has to move. Smell.
Let's be real. Let's give Shino some respect, okay? He's goated, right? We all love Shino.
I forgot about Shino.
Yeah, like freaking Shino. Shino's really, really cool. I mean, he's very smart, right? He's very capable. He's like the embodiment of what a ninja should definitely try to be, and so on and so forth, especially early on as a kid. The problem, though, with Shino is his best feats is to Konkuro. And I'm not trying to be really mean, but Konkuro is not really known as a speedster. He's not really that impressive either. He doesn't have a lot. And like we know Tamari It's you could argue either way, whether if you think Tamari's over Conqueror or not, but overall, I think they're skilling similar enough to where with her range and wind style, it just would completely negate his puppets and shit, so, but either way, like, we all, like, I think he would be within the weighted Lee ballpark, just how Tamari was, I'm just saying, and that's kind of a problem, you know what I mean, and so on and so forth. Like, Tamari and Conqueror don't really have speed feats, and so on and so they don't really have any emphasis. That's the problem. It's very vague. There's only so much we really have, and Conqueror's best feat was in the retrieval, was beating a based, it was either base or CM2. Apologize for not knowing and doing my homework in advance, but he beat like that Psychon, and it was the one that never controls the body. So like he couldn't even really control the mobility and the movement of the body, and so he's more of like an off guard defeat basically. Like he actually wouldn't have really beaten him if it was the other one in control, and he was still contentious with Conqueror. And mind you, Conqueror was at full power. This Psychon's already like very fucking fatigued and been fighting for who knows how long, and was injured as well from before. So yet he still struggled to even beat Psychon. So it's like, overall, I feel like with all that into consideration, I don't think that's anywhere near, once again, in the category of speed and power of like Lee, Neji, and Kimura, and so on and so forth. Yeah, but do you have anything more for that for Shino, or I just think he loses no matter what?
I think it depends on how, if you think Shino could stall out Neji like by retreating or something, because if he can get a bug on him, then he could win. But it's definitely going to be hard for him to do it. And that's also assuming he can sneak that bug onto it because of Neji's 360 vision.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, he can't even hide because of Byakugan. Like, he's just fucked. He's cooked. You know what I mean? Like, he can't hide, and then he's just so much faster. He won't be able to run away like he did at Conqueror. That's the problem. He doesn't have the speed, unfortunately. So, but that's kind of what you're working with. And that would be the that guy. And then we have the two other dinglings, which will be Naruto and Sasuke. So I'm going to make this very, very simple. Okay, obviously early versions, preliminary, gets slammed by Neji. I don't even have to really explain that. We kind of see weighted Lee just beating them up both very bad. So there's that, right? Then you have the final tuning exams. Now, this is where I know they're like, oh my god, Sasuke is 5th gate Lee level and blah, blah, blah. That's not true, okay? Like, he's literally, like, it's stated verbatim, he's relative to weightless Lee, okay? And with the Chidori, it's not like a massive amp like everyone tries to make out to be, or like 5th gate level, or all this nonsense, or whatever, yada, yada, yada. If you actually analyze all the feats and all the statements, okay, so on and so forth, Sasuke clearly has his limits, okay? And that's basically what you're working with. All the Chidori does is give him like a freaking crazy AP strong sword in his hand, okay? And because of, in combination of him having relativity to weightless Lee's speed, in correlation with the precognition, that is why he is a threat. And if you guys have not seen it yet, go watch my Is Chidori a Speed Amp video, okay? And that would give you way, way further more information and context, etc. Because that's just a whole other video in itself, okay? And I'm not going to get into that. But overall, to keep it simple, this Sasuke is relative to weightless Lee. So that's as far as he is in speed. And this Naruto is relative to that Sasuke. He's not even equal to that Sasuke at that point. So it's even worse for Naruto, for base Naruto. And for QB Naruto, with the cloak, because I know you guys probably want to bring him up, I'm going to be honest with you, Neji was mentally nerfed, okay? And he was also fatigued. He wasn't even at full power anymore. And then that's when Naruto was like finally able to be equal because of the QB amp. It like healed him, it gave him all his stamina back, and that's why he was equal to Neji, okay? So no, QB Naruto doesn't scale to like full power Neji. It was a fatigued Neji that was also like mentally conflicted and freaking the fuck out because he's like, what is happening? Like, how is this guy still have chakra? How can he still fight? And how am I being pushed to this point, right? And defying destiny.
He just also thought Naruto was this loser anyway, so he was also probably just surprised about that.
Exactly. So even the cloak QB Naruto would lose to Neji. Okay, I don't want to hear it. And this is bloodlusted, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, if this was in character, it would go the same exact way. But we're talking bloodlusted, so it doesn't even matter. Then we have, then it goes to the next form, where it's Sasuke on the rooftop, and it's Naruto after the whole Rising Gun training, whatever. So yeah, Naruto has a Rising Gun now, cool, great. But the problem is this Naruto is now equal to relative weightless Lee, okay, to Sasuke. And this is a problem because, unfortunately, They're both equal fighting each other on the rooftop. Sasuke has precog, okay, on top of it, while Naruto doesn't, yet they can still have an equal clash in the air, okay? And if anything, you could even argue maybe Naruto is actually slightly more faster than Sasuke, because the fact that he can beat precog is very impressive. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if he's equal and Sasuke has precog, then Sasuke should win. But yet Sasuke was still forced to clash with his Chidori. Now you could argue maybe Sasuke just wanted to try to flex, right, and be like, fuck your jutsu. But what do you think on that, Ken? Neji still slams, but what do you... Yeah, Neji still slams, but I'm just saying, like, what do you think Naruto is slightly faster than Sasuke in the rooftop, or they were equal?
I think they have relativistic speeds. I think Sasuke at that point in time was just reacting to like what Naruto was doing.
Yeah.
And there's also a fact, like they literally just gotten out of the hospital. Yeah, like he was getting out of the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the problem. So, like, overall, that's kind of what you're working with. And it makes sense. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We even see that same Sasuke eventually fight the Sound 4 at full power, and he gets bullied. He gets fucking bullied, okay? So you have that as well. And then it takes for him to take, like, the little pills to where now he's able to unlock CM2, okay? And it's even stated verbatim that literally he can now be able to potentially have a power equal to the Sound 4 with their CM2 curse states, okay? So you have that too. But then we get into the retrieval forms, which is, I'm going to be honest with you, it's literally what we see on the rooftop. It's the same crap, okay? So now we have the retrieval arc. Nothing changes. Once again, if you analyze everything, that Naruto and Sasuke are struggling to nerf Sound 4 members. Saikon's able to catch Naruto's Rising Gun when he goes to attack. The Flute Girl could beat Naruto and Taijutsu and punch him in the face when they're both moving at the same speed. You know what I mean? We see that their interactions. The Spider-Man guy was able to low diff the entire team all together with combo and Shikamaru IQ strategy in base with webs. And only Neji could be able to deal with it and also slam that guy in close hand-to-hand combat. He even made him concede hand-to-hand combat in CM1 state. And then he had to go to CM2 state to win a range battle and literally use Neji's kryptonite in his weakness of fighting from a distance. And Neji was still able to outsmart, still get through, and then even speed blitz his CM2 state, which we know is a 10 times multiplier. Okay, so overall, even those two base forms get utterly freaking slammed. It's not even a competition. And why, to even further back that up, if you want to get into it, Ken, because I think I've said it so many times, if you want to explain the whole Kimimaro scaling whatnot with Lee and you name it, and how Kimimaro connects to the Sound 4.
Kimimaro scales to the Sound 4 because we know that he was able to fight and beat all four of them.
Yep.
Me and Bass have actually been on this one. It's arguable if it was in his base, not his base, his CM1 or CM2 state, but we know he was able to fight both of them. He was able to fight Kimimaro, who should be able to fight all four of the Sound Ninja, then Neji should be just relativistic to at least like Gate 2 Lee.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's the problem. But Ken, but not Nerf Kimimaro. That's only Prime. Nerf is not stronger than the Sound 4.
It's not my fault that Nerf Kimimaro is stronger than Prime Kimimaro.
Yeah, so it's like, here's the problem when the Nerf Kimimaro argument people that try to throw, like, what people forget is he literally threatens the Flute Girl and says, I will kill you, but I'm not going to do that because I need you to, you know, keep these little rats away, okay, while I fulfill the mission. And Kabuto states verbatim and thinks now that Kimimaro is going to help with the mission, that it will be successful no matter what, meaning he thinks he's actually way more better and strong, whatever, blah, blah. And Orochimaru and Kabuto say he is cracked out of his mind, like with his bone, you know, his Kenga Genkai, all that stuff, whatever you name it. And Kabuto says, I'm being dead serious, manga and anime, verbatim, that he thinks nobody could beat Kimimaro. Nobody. That would include Sanin, Jonin, all of these motherfuckers, because Kabuto knows all of them, right? And this is a serious mission. They're kidnapping a Genin, so it would make, if anything, Kabuto would be very logically correct to think that they're sending Jonin, right, to help or whatever, or stop, and so on and so forth, you know? So it's like, the fact that he could still say Kimimaro could beat anybody is insane, okay? So there's that. You could take that however you want. Overall, I just wanted to debunk that nonsense of, like, the Sound 4 being over nerfed Kimimaro, or sick Kimimaro. I think that's ridiculous. So, but yeah, either way, you have all that. So to keep it short and concise, Kimmaru, okay, base Kimmaru is over the Sound 4, which scales to basely, and we know Neji is over basely. There you go. All right, you see what I'm getting at? And that's just kind of what you're working with. So overall, you know, it's as simple as that. So then we get to Kyuubi Naruto, all right? So the one we see against Kimmaru and Sasuke in the Final Valley, and we have CM1 Sasuke. Once again, it does not change. If you want to get into that, Ken, real quick and kind of explain why.
Like, I still think he's faster and he'd still be able to get a good amount of damage in.
Yeah.
But I think it really all depends on if you think like Naruto's healing factor can stay my factor, and if it can outlast the Gentle Fist, and Naruto to be able to hit a wrestling gun.
Yeah.
It'd be more that he probably could win, but if not, then Naruto just has no chance.
Yeah, and this is just Kyuubi Naruto with shadow clones. We're not giving him like Gamma Bunto or anything like that or anything, you know, whatever. That's obvious what would happen. But yeah, like, so overall, I just think it doesn't change at all, because here's the problem: we see Naruto go Kyuubi in order to fight Kimmaru. Okay, we know base Naruto struggles with the Sound 4. Kyuubi Naruto would be over the Sound 4, okay? But when it comes to Kimmaru, that's not the case. Kimmaru literally destroys him, okay? Like 2,000 plus shadow clones, and we know the shadow clones even compensates for speed as well, so it increases your speed in combo attacks, or to create openings, because we literally see that with Kakuzu, where he says 2 shadow clones isn't enough. If I do 1 more shadow clone, it would close the gap in speed. So imagine that. 2,000 plus shadow clones, yeah, he still can't land a single blow, and this is base Kimmaru. That means Kimmaru and Neji and Lee are just way over Kyuubi Naruto in speed. You know what I mean? Like, you could say he's relative in some regard, but like if Neji's getting really serious, they're getting crapped on. It's gonna be the same thing like what Kimmaru did. You know what I mean? And overall, like, I think it just be like a million times worse, because we know Neji at least scales over Gate 2 or to Gate 2, right? You know, so. Yeah. That's just kind of what you're working with, and it's stated, if you guys don't know, to back that up, it's stated verbatim that Neji needed the hidden lotus, or the final, which requires a 3rd gate, okay, bare minimum. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and if you want to be really generous to Lee, then you could say like, or to Neji that Neji would have to Lee would have to go 5th gate, but I personally don't think that's the case. I don't see why Guy would lie about that. And that was stated verbatim by Guy. It's in the manga, it's in the anime, so on and so forth. So. Either way, that's just kind of what you're working with. Just putting that out there. And another thing I forgot to mention. This is in the data books. Shout out to King Bullet a long time ago. And there's a couple others that probably know about this. But it's actually stated in the data books that all the Jonin, and including Hiruzen, thought Neji was the strongest in the tuning exams. I don't know why, but that's what they state verbatim in the data books. So you can take that however you want to, but just putting that out there. And that's kind of
the only other thing I would like to add to this is the fact that we know that there's that meme like my guy likes Rock Lee better than all the other of his students, but we know realistically he's not gonna let them kill each other. He's Rock Lee. My guy was confident that Neji would be able to survive blows from at least a 2nd gate Rock Lee to even 3rd gate.
Absolutely, yeah, facts. So there's that, and so that's kind of what you're working with. And then CM1 Sasuke, like, I'll make this very simple. We see base Sasuke being equal to base Naruto, right? Then we see CM1 Sasuke. Okay, and so like he's trying to like land a Chidori on base Naruto, and he can't do it. So he's like, I need to use CM1 and spam jutsu, ninjutsu, and then do combos of taijutsu in order to force a blow on base Naruto. So meaning a CM1 is really not a massive amp, okay? Well, it is in a certain regard, but at that point in time, Naruto and Sasuke have very crap chakra control, which is why they can't make full use of the amps, okay? That's technically what it really is, but overall, it's not a massive amp when he does it, because he's still contentious with base Naruto, okay? Which it makes sense. You know, we see all the other Sound 4 when they're doing their next curse mark, and the Genin can still fight them while in their base forms and stuff. So overall, like, Naruto could still react accordingly, fight against him, whatever. And then, mind you, Naruto could still compete against that Sasuke while being mentally nerfed, because he's literally freaking out because Sasuke is trying to kill him, and he's realized that harsh reality that Sasuke doesn't care anymore, and he's just trying to kill him. So there's that too in consideration. So overall, CM1 Sasuke is still like in a similar ballpark with base Naruto, whatever. He's just like slightly more stronger than his base form, right? And that's kind of what you're working with, whatever, and you name it, and that's it, you know? And overall, that's why nothing really changes, okay? Then you have the next forms, which is One Tail Naruto and CM2 Sasuke. Now we're moving finally into the next category, which is the could go either way, right? Okay, so I'll let Ken go first on this of why One Tail Naruto could be able to potentially beat Neji and so on and so forth, etc.
Yeah, and so the reason why I think at the very least that One Tail Naruto has a good chance of beating this Neji,
Yeah.
is because Naruto has that really good healing factor that he gets when he's in that cloak. We do know that over time it will make him no numb, but in a scenario like this, it's going to be less because he wouldn't have had a Chidori like run through like half his body. And realistically, Neji isn't going to be able to go up to just strike him like he would be able to do like any other form because his hands are just going to take too much damage from the chakra cloak.
Yep.
And then if he does go in, then Naruto only has to flash him one time to kill him.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's be real, like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, you could maybe argue, like, the chakra hands or branching Neji might be able to do a rotation against, but let's be real. His Rising Gun, come on, bro. Like, nah. Like, you know what I mean? Like Neji, he's goated, but, like, can I, like, and yeah, sure, you could bring up, like, you know, his uncle being able to do rotation on Boruto's Rising Gun, but that's Boruto. You know what I mean? Like, Neji's uncle's still, like, a high Jonin in the Boruto era, right? While Boruto is getting up there, like, and Boruto's strong too, but it's you get what I'm saying. It's not like it's fucking, you know, like, I don't know, Naruto's Rising Gun or Jiraiya's Rising Gun or someone in a similar regard where that's why the Rising Gun would go through, you know? So, like, you can argue either or because rotation is very, very powerful and there's tons of good statements around rotation. But I think, you know, with the scaling and everything and so on and so forth, it's contentious enough to the point to where I do think it's more in favor for One Tail Naruto. So if there is a Rising Gun being thrown, I don't think he's rotating through that. You could argue for it. They are there, but that's just kind of what you're working with. Overall, Naruto takes it either by outlasting or if he could just heal enough and then he is able to kill him. And I'm just going to be real with you. This is a bloodlust Naruto, not a holding back Naruto that we saw against Sasuke. So theoretically, if Naruto even lands any blow remotely, Neji's more than likely getting one tapped. Or bare minimum, he could take only like 2 blows, okay? So, just putting that out there. Neji he's not known for durability feats. And that's just kind of what you're working with. But overall, you know, like as for in favor for Neji, you know, you could still argue with the whole speed advantage because I'm going to be honest with you, when Naruto goes One Tail form, Doritomo Sasuke is still able to react and, you know, move and dodge accordingly, even his branching, his taijutsu attacks, whatever. And yes, Naruto's not trying to kill Sasuke, but it doesn't mean he wouldn't be moving at a fast enough speed to at least knock him out or subdue him or break his bones. Because he does state that twice, that he will break his bones or at least subdue him if he has to, right? And drag him back. So overall, you can take it however you want. I just think the speed is still like not that great for One Tail Naruto. So unfortunately, it kind of gets to the point where, you know, like Neji's still gonna be way more faster, and it just kind of boils to like, will Neji outlast One Tail Naruto, where now he's like getting numb all over his body, he just doesn't have time, and then Neji just starts beating him up and knocks him out like what Sasuke did in the end, you know? So that's kind of what I'm getting at. So it's really interesting to think about. Regardless, however you take it, you could also, in favor for Naruto, just argue narratively, right? You could argue narratively, oh, he's the main character, you know, he has the 9 tails, it's the 9 tails power, right? Blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. Therefore, he should just be over Neji. And that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to put you down for that. But that's just kind of what you're working with. And once again, if you guys just like think I'm going freaking crazy, okay, the logic and the scaling and arguments are there. Like, once again, QB Naruto, and similar to One Tail Naruto, correlate all that to Kenmaru and Lee, then to Neji, it's all there, okay? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think One Tail Naruto is just speed blitzing Neji. I think that's very, very dishonest, and you're not giving Neji the credit he deserves, especially during Part 1 Naruto. But that's kind of what you're working with. That's why it's the could win or could lose category. As for Sasuke, me and Ken are at least in agreement on this. It's way worse and harder for Sasuke. So, and the reason why is because Sasuke can only use the CM2 for like a couple seconds, bro. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, he turns it on, he like reacts to one attack from Naruto, he talks just a little bit, and then does one Chidori and immediately starts freaking out and thinking in his head, saying verbatim that the curse mark is already eating at me. I don't have any time. I must finish this in one blow. So meaning he has one Chidori that he could do. Okay, and if I'm being even more generous, one wing attack or maybe one fire style attack. Okay, and overall, I think with Neji's rotation or bare minimum with his speed, he's just gonna still be way over because we know Sasuke's not holding back. Naruto was. So we know for a fact Neji is definitely fucked in the speed department. Okay, or not Neji, Sasuke is. And I think he just gets speed blitzed by Neji and just hits with a gentle fist, and he's done. Like, it's literally kryptonite as well. Like, he'll just turn off his curse mode like he did to the Spider-Man guy, you know? And that's kind of what I think you're working with. The precog is very impressive, though. You know what I mean? Like, he is able, like, his precog's way better now, especially if it's 3 Tomo, you know what I mean, too. So there's that as well, but it's like, we already know how that works in the Lee fight, all because you can see something. If you're not fast enough to react, it doesn't matter at all. So meaning if Neji's still way more faster, even though Sasuke could see him coming, he's not going to be able to react in time and he gets beat up. You know what I mean? And so meaning the same principle would be applied with Chidori. You know, he does Chidori, he could see him, but he's still not fast enough, and bam, he loses. Like what we see with Kakashi with Itachi or Orochimaru and yada yada. Okay? That's what I have for like Neji against CM2 Sasuke. What do you think on that, Ken? What do you think of any way maybe somehow Sasuke could take it? Obviously narrative.
I think the best way is if because we have Neji at the gate 2 levels of speed with Rock Lee. Yeah. One of the problems is going to be Neji's definitely going to be fast enough to avoid most of his hits. So I think the best way that this could go in Sasuke's favor is that he could play defensively. Like you said before, he only gets maybe 2-3 minutes with the form.
Yeah.
So he's not outlasting Neji, and Neji's not going to be dumb enough to run up on this, because he wasn't dumb enough to do the same thing with
Spider-Man
Kidimaru as well.
And he's seen Sasuke use it too. He's seen him use it before too. You know what I mean? So, and that was preliminary.
For increase, so
yeah,
he's not going to be stupid.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so it's like, and that's what I'm saying overall. And then it is what it is. This is what you're working with. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, that's basically what it is. I think it's just unfortunate. I think Neji just, you know, I think he definitely takes it no matter what 9 out of 10 times. But to just give Sasuke benefit of the doubt, because it is CM2 Sasuke, and there are tons of arguments. You could definitely play devil's advocate, statements, whatever, blah, blah. And even especially bring up narrative emphasis, right? Like you could even argue it was shown that Naruto and Sasuke in the end were the strongest getting, right? And that's fine. By all means, whatever you do you. But that's kind of what you're working with. There's one more contentious factor, Red Pill Choji. So I'll let Ken go on this first of why we think Neji just still slams Choji, but I'll let you go, Ken, on why.
Yeah. He said, we're putting him in the contentious category. Realistically, I know that I don't actually think this is contentious.
Same.
I think Neji takes this because, one, Choji's really slow.
Yep.
A lot of people like to say, well, it's said that its expansion jutsu goes at the speed of, lightning. It's that's good and all, but there's no proof to say, he can attack while doing that or anything like that. And then, Neji, Neji's going to see it when he starts to do something like that. So he's just going to back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just not going to be stupid. And two, he could just run up his arm. He could attack, because he still has those chakra points and all that. It just makes himself, a bigger target, and he can only hold that form for so long.
Yep, it's worse than CM2. It's even shorter. So, and he's in pain as well.
And unlike CM2, is it, Choji's, constantly, in pain while
yeah, he's in pain, too, yeah. Sasuke was in pain as well, but it's even worse for Choji. It's, 10 times worse. So, you know what I mean? So, an overall, another way to look at it as well is Choji's fighting the weakest Sound 4 member, okay? While Kimaru, you know what I mean, or whatever, is stated to even be stronger than Jirobo. Akamaru says it, Kiba says it, and they say, way stronger. Not a little bit. They say way more, okay? So, you have that into consideration, and the Spider-Man dude even thinks Neji was the strongest getting out of all of them. Okay, now, to be fair, he didn't see Red Pill Choji, he only saw Base Choji, but the same principle applies, because if you connect all the dots, whatever, especially the whole Kimaru stuff with Lee, you name it, there's just no way. Choji, he has power, but it's extremely hard to argue if he has insane speed. That's the problem. And I don't think there's any way to get him to Lee speed or Neji speed or Gate speed and all that or yada yada yada. You know what I mean? It's really, really weird to go that far. And that's just kind of what you're working with. So Neji would just be more faster, he wouldn't get hit, whatever. And one blow from Neji and Choji's done. One blow. So that's all it is. The best argument you could have for Choji is some Dragon Ball Z 100 times, if you take that state really literal and say, oh, he's 100 times more strong, whatever, blah, blah. Now he's just beyond and above, right? And now he just slams Neji. Sure, whatever, but it's even that is very vague and there's no way to prove all that. That's the problem. we don't like what's the even Choji's power level, right? We don't know his quantification. We don't know where he's at. That's the problem, you know. Like what does that even mean? You know, where is he at when he's 100 times more? You know, and is that just in power, right? Is that, you know, so that's the problem. And if I'm also nitpicking even further, Jirobo is able to tank the first initial hit from Choji, and then he's taken out by the second hit. So overall, that's just kind of what you're working with. But now we can move on to where Neji loses no matter what. I already mentioned Gambunta. You want to list the other one, Ken?
Luckily with Gate 3 and up, definitely.
Yeah, so Gates 3 and up absolutely destroys. And also just to have like a little bit extra of a bonus round. This would be 2 bonus rounds. We'll give Sasuke and Naruto in their strongest forms together. I think at that point Neji loses. I'm just being honest with you. Sure, you can be fast or whatever, but I just think it'd just be way, way too much, and that's it. And he's just absolutely screwed. So we'll say that. And then you also have what was the other? Oh, and in Drunken Fistly against Neji. That'll be another bonus round. What's it called? Neji won't lose, okay? But he will still win, and that's because he scales, you know, either over Gate 2 or to Gate 2. And Drunken Lee, like, he's really, really strong, but the what makes Drunken Lee so dangerous is him being unpredictable. It's not that his speed changes drastically or anything like that. He already has this impressive speed and base. It's just now he's very, very unpredictable. And that's why Kimmaru was even struggling to land any blows and was getting beat up, you know? And then when Lee went first gate, which is, like a 20 times multiplier, okay? Like, that's when things get really, really bad because, like, he gets even more faster. And then finally, Kimmaru was like, wow, impressive speed. And Kimmaru was forced to use partial CM1 with Drunken and Gate 1. But to be fair, he only did it with Drunken because it was just too much unpredictability or whatever. And he just needed to calm him the fuck down and land a blow and wake him up. While with Gate 1, he didn't have a choice at all. That was the only way he could stop that speed, you know? So that's just kind of what you work with Drunken. Do you have anything to add to that, Ken? Or
the only thing I could talk about is like the unpredictability. There is also the fact that while he's in that drunken state, he doesn't feel pain as well either.
Yep. Yeah. So
that definitely helps out, at least because we know that when he goes into the gates, he feels the pain. But if he's drunk, he obviously wouldn't because.
Yeah, and Drunken...
I think the gates are superior.
Bro, Drunken Lee even gets like a sixth sense, bro. Like, and he has like a kind of a low-key Bakugan. Like, the man was dodging hits, not even looking. He could somehow be a sensory out of nowhere. Like, it was hilarious. Like, Kimmaru was trying to like stab him and kill him when he's like laying down on the ground fake sleeping, and he's just dodging all his hits and then catches his attack casually. Like...
with his feet.
But he literally with his feet, bro. So... it's like there's that, but once again, don't get me wrong, Drunken Lee is absolutely goated, and Drunken Lee's even over QB Naruto. It's crazy as that is, but he is. You know what I mean? He has defeats and everything, and you name it. But the problem is Neji is still way faster. That's the problem. So Lee would just ultimately one hit wakes him up. He's even taken out of his drunken state, or he's just subdued, and it's that simple. Like at the end of the day, I don't care. Lee needs the third gate to beat Neji. It's flat out stated by Guy, and Guy has no reason to lie. No reason at all. So, but yeah, that's gonna be basically it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe for more content, subscribe because of the channel. There'll be plenty more Naruto content eventually along the way. You guys let me know what you think of all these matchups and so on and so forth, etc. Whatever you name it, whether if you're mad at me and Ken or not, whatever, yada yada. Hope you guys really enjoyed, and yeah, that's basically it. As always, see you guys in the next one.
体の右側はほとんど潰れちまって感覚すら